Welcome back, everybody, to the Ministry of Slam radio show, the UK's #1 radio show dedicated to the world of pro wrestling. But occasionally we like to go off the beaten track. We like to look at other combat sports. And our guest this week, you may recognise him from, of course, the movie Rocky V, and also a very talented boxer in his own right, former world heavyweight champion. I'd like to welcome to the show Tommy the Duke Morrison. Tommy, thanks very much for joining us.
You bet, man. I'm happy to be able to do this.
Awesome. It's great to finally track you down. Been a big fan of yours for a long time, and it's great to finally bring you on the show. Now, one of the things, obviously, a lot of the people know you from is your appearance in Rocky V. It was how you sort of, hit mainstream fame and, became very visible to a lot of people. How did it all come about that you were picked by Sylvester Stallone to play the role of Tommy Gunn in Rocky V?
Well, that was back in the early 80s, and, I turned professional in '88, and after my probably 8th or 9th fight, I signed, Bill Caton as my manager, and I started getting more high-profile fights, and in '89, I had like 19 fights that year on ESPN, and Sly's brother, Frank, who is a very talented musician. As a matter of fact, he wrote the soundtrack for the first 2 Rocky movies, I believe.
Okay.
But his brother was watching boxing one night on ESPN. He saw me fighting, and he knew his brother was looking for, he knew what his brother was looking for to try to fill that role. And he saw me in the after-fight interview, saw that I, was somewhat articulate, could speak in complete sentences and things of that nature. And they just, he got a hold of my manager and asked if I'd come out for an audition, and that's how it got started.
Awesome. Now, as you mentioned, you're a pretty sort of competitive fighter before Rocky V came along. Did it? Once you appeared in the movie, did a lot of promoters want to get hold of you and sort of cash in on your fame based off the back of the movie?
Yeah, but that's why it's so important to have good management. Because, you get pulled in all kinds of directions, but at that point, it kind of puts you in the driver's seat and kind of pick and choose what works best for you.
Now, of course, one of your highlights of your boxing career, former WBO World Heavyweight Champion. Talk to us about your memories of winning that title.
You talking about against Foreman?
Yeah, that one.
Well, it was, I changed my whole style, for that fight. I mean, I was normally come straight at you and bang you out there type thing, but with, with Foreman, someone that big and someone that punches so hard, we had to change our game style. Yeah. And I went out there and, I was actually fighting backwards the whole night, which, it took a lot of conditioning, got myself in great shape. I was trained down at the Virginia Military Institute in Lexington, Virginia, for that. And, I did all my homework, I knew that I could outspeed him. I wanted to knock him out, but it didn't happen. I rocked him a few times, but he's a lot tougher than I thought. I never thought he could take that good of a punch. I just thought he was hard to hit because he's so big and got some arms in the way. But I nailed him with some good shots, and, he hung around. So I got to give him props for that. But, I knew I was going to win the fight. When you match everything up, there's no way that he should have been able to beat me, to be honest with you. But everybody, was worried about me getting hit and how I have a weak chin. And, I think that's crazy. I've been knocked out 3 times in my life, and I don't care who you are. You get hit with the right punch, you're going down. It doesn't take muscles. That speed's what generates power. And the punches that knock you out and hurt you are the ones you don't see. That's why speed's so important. And a lot of people don't understand that. Your everyday couch potato fans that want to say I have a weak chin, I just say lace them up,
Another aspect we wanted to touch on, of course, you've been involved in some MMA competitions, MMA fights. Tell us a bit about your training in MMA. Did you relying on your punching speed and punching power, or did you have any training on the takedowns or submissions?
No, I didn't. It wasn't an MMA fight, but it was it was it was a stand-up striking match only. I mean, there was elbows and that sort of thing, but I just never put myself in a position to get hit with it. I wasn't planning on throwing any elbows anyway. I mean, anyhow, I just fought in one of those. It was more or less as a favor for a promoter friend of mine, and knock off a little bit of rust, and so I wouldn't collect any more. So I went down there and fought in that fight, fought huge guys like 350 pounds, came running at me, and, once I got him back in the middle of the ring, it was over. But, that's not something that I really have a desire to do. If the opportunity presents itself and it's the right time and right money, I might consider it. But other than that, I'm strictly boxing.
Okay. So I may have seen the last year in MMA. Another thing, of course, you're heavily involved in now, the Tommy Morrison Children's Foundation. We'll talk. We'll get onto your website in a little while, but tell us about the concept behind the Children's Foundation.
Well, it's just what I want to do, because I've been around to a lot of hospitals and these sick kids that have serious and life-threatening diseases are trapped in a hospital 6 or 8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
They don't go outside. They can't, and so what I've decided to do is create an environment on a farm, in a farm setting, exotic animals, go-karts, fishing, horseback, just where these kids can get out of the hospital for a couple weeks at a time and go to this, to this camp. And, because the number one, of healing is believing it and forgetting about it for kids.
Yeah.
Number one step in healing is for them to forget about it, and they get it, out in a farm environment like that with, with me and some of my, I'm gonna have always special guests come there. Some of these professional fighters I know, maybe some actors and things of that nature, and just let them have fun. Because, I mean, you and I both know that in a hospital there's so many germs, and it's hard to get healthy in a hospital.
Yeah,
the bottom line. And we're going to take them out there and let them be kids again for a couple of weeks. And I think there's, also going to be, different types of healing techniques and stuff going on there.
So I'm looking at your website right now. It's TommyTheDukeMorrison.com. There's all sorts of plans and concept ideas for what you want the foundation to include. Tell us a bit about how we can donate to the project. Everyone listening, of course, you can donate to this project. Can we donate straight through the website?
Yeah, that would just donations can be made to the address that's on the website, and we're going to be doing a lot of. We're kind of in the rebuilding process. I set up a foundation years ago, but I changed it and modified it a little bit. And, we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. I'm going to be having some fights and stuff here around here in Wichita. And, we're going to bring a lot of these kids out, to see the fight. And, we'll be doing a lot of stuff, that isn't on the farm, in terms of fighting and events and things like that. But the address is the one that's it's on the website.
Okay, so we can get all the details there. TommyTheDukeMorrison.com. Once again, there's a link from our website as well on the links page, so you can donate there. Next up, we're going to touch on Fight Night Round 4. Of course, we love our video games over here, and quite a pleasant surprise to see you involved in that game. How did that come about?
It was very interesting, really, and touching for me. A lot of there's a guy named his name's Chris. He goes by what's called Country Boy, and he and a bunch of other fans got together and made a phone call to the company that made this, and and there was over 1 million people called in requesting me to be on it. So they contacted me, and then that's how that got started. A lot of my fans, I've got. Like I said, I mentioned got some fights coming up, overseas in June. But until then, we're gonna start fighting right here in Wichita. We're gonna have one on the 27th of March, right here.